Late autumn settles over the northern marshes like a held breath. The reeds have gone pale as old bone, and the water between them lies still, reflecting a sky the colour of pewter. Frost lines the edges of everything, each blade of grass, each fallen leaf. Each stone along the shore, as if the world has been traced in silver by a careful hand. And there, drifting where the current barely moves, a single feather turns slow circles on the water. It is impossibly white. It glows the way moonlight glows, soft and certain, as though it remembers a warmth the season has already forgotten. A girl named Elna lives at the edge of these marshes. In a cottage with a thatched roof that sags in the middle like a tired smile. She is 12, maybe 13, the age when the body feels like a borrowed thing. When the world seems both too large and too small. She helps her mother dye wool in copper pots. She mends nets for her father, who fishes the cold shallows before dawn. She carries her baby brother on her hip and sings to him in a voice she thinks no one hears. But Elna watches the sky, she always watches the sky. Every autumn, the wild swans pass over the marshes in long, trembling lines. Their wings catching light that seems to come from nowhere. She follows them with her eyes until they vanish. And something in her chest pulls tight, like a thread being drawn through cloth. She does not have a word for what she feels. She only knows that when the swans disappear, a small door inside her closes. One morning before the sun rises, Elna finds the feather. It rests on the surface of the shallows near the dock, spinning gently. And when she reaches for it, the water around her fingers turns warm. The feather hums against her palm, not a sound she hears with her ears. But one she feels deep in her breastbone. The way you feel a church bell from very far away. That night she tucks the feather beneath her pillow, and she dreams she is flying. Not the clumsy flying of dreams, but true flight, deliberate, muscular, the world tipping and righting itself beneath her. She feels the weight of wings where her arms should be. She feels wind parting around her throat. She wakes gasping, and her fingers smell of lake water and sky. She returns to the marsh at dusk, holding the feather against her heart. She does not decide to change. The change decides for her. It begins in her feet, her toes fusing, stretching, turning the color of black river stone. Then her arms, lengthening, feathers erupting in soft rows like pages turning in a book. Her neck extends, her mouth hardens into something sleek and strange. And then she is aloft. The world from above is a revelation. The marshes unfold beneath her like an illuminated manuscript, channels of silver. Islands of dark green, her cottage a small warm ember glowing near the shore. She joins the wild swans over the lake, and they accept her without question. She feels their rhythm, the shared pulse of wing beats, the way they tilt together into the wind as one body. There is no loneliness here, there is no weight. But as the swans turn south, pulling her with them, Elna hears something below. Her brother is crying. It is faint, a thin sound rising through the cold air. And it reaches her the way a fishhook reaches through dark water, sharp, precise. Inevitable. She falters, the formation breaks around her. The swans call out, urging her onward, and their voices sound like freedom itself, wild and clean and boundless. Her brother cries again. Elna descends. She fights the wind for every foot of altitude she surrenders. The swans circle once, twice, and then they go, a long white ribbon unspooling toward the horizon. She watches them leave, and she understands now what the feather truly offered. Not a gift, a question. The swans live without anchors, without kitchens that smell of bread, without small hands gripping their fingers in the dark. Their freedom is real, but it is also an emptiness, beautiful, pure, and hollow as a bell. Love is not hollow, love is heavy. It is her mother's tired hands, her father's quiet return each morning, her brother's damp cheek pressed against her neck. Love is the weight that keeps you on the earth when every part of you aches to fly. She lands on the dock, the feathers fall from her like snow. Elna picks up the feather one last time. She carries it to the water's edge and sets it down on the surface, where the current takes it, spinning back into the dark. Her brother quiets against her shoulder. The sky is empty now and enormous and full of stars. She does not fly again. But some nights, when the wind blows from the south, she steps outside and lifts her face. And her heart rises just a little, as if remembering the shape of wings. She stays, and staying, she discovers, is its own kind of flight.